it's a journey.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you coming here. It's finally get to meet you, sit down with you.
Same.
You sound like a very interesting man.
As you do too, man. We're both. I bet you Dave's an interesting man too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's definitely an interesting man. He's a unique man. But I do want to give a shout out to Peter. Thank you so much, Peter, for inviting this wonderful guest on.
Yeah. He's been a blessing in my life too. Yeah.
How long have you known Peter for?
I have known Peter probably about 20 years.
Long time.
20 years, yeah.
Long time. It's a good long friendship.
Yeah, well, it's been, there's people that are in different orbits. So there are folks that are in a close orbit, wife, family, maybe one, usually a small group. But there's people that are in elliptical orbits. I describe some friends as comet comrades.
Wow.
So you want to hear that one?
Yeah.
I can tell you this. So I wrote an email to this woman I know in California who I trained in coaching, and then she went off and became quite very good at executive coaching, for the ICF. And I said, I really appreciate our relationship. And she writes back and she says, what relationship? You haven't seen me for 6 years. Right? so I had, so I thought, okay. So there was just some comet that had come through. It was in the news, comets come around about Halley's Comet, how many years is that? Like 100 years between?
Yeah.
So I said, well, you're like a comet comrade, that you may not be there for a while, but when you show up, you lighten up my sky.
Wow.
So she liked that.
But how special is that? I find that very true. I've experienced meeting some people. The moment you meet them, the whole world changes. It feels like an invisible aura they have. What do you reckon about that? What's your opinion on that? Well, you just meet these certain people.
Everything's energy. I think there's a lot written about that we've lost our ability to pick up on people's vibes. And there's people you pick up on, I know, that I say, this is such a great person, and I introduce them. So come over for dinner. And my wife, who's she's a yoga teacher, she's very intuitive. She'll say, no, you got to watch out for that guy. And I said, whoa, what are you talking about? He's all these great things. And I hate it because she's right so often about just reading the vibe. So I think we're living in an age where we're realizing the need to connect our head to our heart more, and that the knowledge of the heart is, it doesn't mean you don't think anymore, but your center of gravity and your wisdom and your knowledge is not the first thing you think. It's taking the time and listening to the deeper vibes that you get from your heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the way you explained that. So everything's kind of, it's the intellect of the heart. We were speaking about this over the phone.
The wisdom of the heart, it's more than intellect. It's a combination of intellect, emotion, intuition. You look at all the traditions, right? Where does wisdom come from? The heart. Where's love come from? The heart. Where's courage come from? The heart, right? So it's always been recognized, but what happened, I think, for humanity is when Descartes says, I think, therefore I am. You got to remember, that time in history, people were doing a lot of weird stuff, too. They believed in a lot of things that were not true. So the intellect needed to be developed by humanity to really help us understand a lot of what we had believed was not correct. So we don't burn witches anymore. Well, most of the time we don't. But
just on Twitter, right?
Just Twitter's a really good example. Social media is a great opportunity to show you how we don't think.
Yeah. Do you think social media the internet has had an effect on this heart part, having the intellect and?
It's an interesting question. I remember when I was, 19, studying about theology, and I remember coming across this studies of a Jesuit. He was a Jesuit paleontologist. So Jesuits are like the really smart guys in the Catholic tradition, and in order to become a priest in their group, you also had to have another degree. So this guy was a French paleontologist.
I've never heard of that name in my entire life. He must be really smart.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on what circles. In the so I was raised Catholic, Roman Catholic, and wanted to be a priest at one stage, and liked the studying the philosophy, the theology, the spirituality, but the poverty, chastity, obedience, drugs, sex, and rock and roll at 19.
That's a big mixture.
Let's see, what am I going to choose?
We're all conflicted like that, right? Yeah.
No, but I said, look, God called me into the seminary, but also called me out. But what this guy said, and he's got a lot of great quotes, but he talked about the Earth having, there's the geosphere, because he studied rocks and that kind of thing. Then he said there's the biosphere, which is that the Earth then became, you find life anywhere on the planet. You can go to the South Pole and find algae in between rocks, right? That are still alive, or in the ocean. But then he predicted, this was back in, it was in like the early 70s. He talked about the noosphere, and the noosphere, he said, is that there will be the mind, the intellect will surround the planet. This was way before the internet was even on the cards. So that's my way of saying that that I think social media and the what we're capable of communicating everywhere on the planet is a reflection of where humanity's mind is right now, which unfortunately they're finding out, like when they're making internet accessible to certain countries, undeveloped countries, that a lot of it goes into pornography. I mean, you look at the amount of stuff on the internet that's because it makes a lot of money and it draws in a lot of interest, but it says to me that most of humanity is still, at the lower frequencies, still looking at the reptilian brain about wanting to take care of the lower sexual, it's either fight, flight, or freeze, so we're
the whole point.
The three Fs.
The whole pornography thing is, I believe it's gotten out of control. That's what I believe.
Oh, big time.
It's youngsters are addicted to it, adults are addicted to it, and then
it's big money.
Yeah, and it's like if you had a king 500 years ago, and he lived to 60, he might have seen 1,000 beautiful women in that 50 years of his life.
Yeah.
In 10, 15 minutes, a person scrolling through a porn site can see 1,000 beautiful women in a matter of 20, 30 minutes.
Right.
How do you keep up with that no more?
Right. Well, you can try hard, but it depends.
You can't, because now all of a sudden he's got so many options in his mind.
Yeah.
That is, even if he had a wife, he can't find her attractive anymore.
So that is an example of how the humanity's mind is still a large percentage is still at the lower energy levels. I mean, it's not.
Wow.
However, I mean, look at what you're doing. Look at the amount of information that used to be. Look at the Tibetan scenario, right? Secret monks in the mountains for centuries, and now all the secrets of many of the mystical traditions are now available to everybody. So it's bringing out, there is a percentage of the population that is waking up, wants to become more enlightened, wants to do the right thing, and that influence is also increasing too.
Good and bad.
Well, I think the if you were to measure it, it doesn't take as many people that are at the higher level, higher frequencies to influence. That I do think that the higher your frequency, the more influence you have for good, and that I don't want to talk about influencers that do things for their own negative reasons, but that there's a different vibe that you can put out. Like if you heal something, you work something out in your own life, right? And you say, look, I'm not gonna retaliate, or I'm not gonna go for revenge anymore. I'm not just gonna play that game anymore. I'm gonna forgive and move on. You doing that influences a lot of people on many different levels. That's my take.
It hits the spot when you say that. Forgiveness and moving on, and not kind of coming back with revenge. It's
That's
very
a hard
powerful.
one.
Very powerful.
Well, it's, look at what's happening globally in terms of Palestine. You know, how good was it to see 100,000 people on the bridge in Sydney? You know, people saying
It's got to stop.
It's got to stop. It's got to stop with men who still. It's like, who's got the bigger dick? You know, in terms of, I'll bomb you, and then you can bomb me, or we'll retaliate that way. So that type of revenge mindset is obsolete. It's a vicious circle.
It'll never stop. It's gone on for thousands of years now. With many societies and nations that have gone past. It's always been war.
I think, people are, there's a lot of people saying, yeah, war makes a lot of money for arms dealers. You know, I've worked with different armed forces, and, they retire from their role as a general, and they start working for arms dealers, selling back to their mates, and that
cycle
makes a lot of money for a certain number of people. But I think, the way out is vertical in terms of, what did Jesus say? Love your neighbor, love your enemies.
Oh,
that is
it's a very powerful.
I'm working on that one.
Yeah, very powerful. You love your enemies is a very powerful thing, because you could be walking down the street and you see your enemy. What do? Normally I would, he's my enemy, you dog, and I'm just going off. But to love your enemy is powerful. You have to be built inside.
It's the only way out, Ahmad. It's the only way out. You could say, I'm just going to walk on the other side of the street. I'm not going to turn my back on the enemy, right? You got to be
cautious.
What was because my tradition is Christian, although I've looked at a lot of different traditions, but one of the things that he said was that you're to be as wise as vipers. So I'm not going to turn my back on you.
Wow.
Right?
Stay cautious at the same time.
Yeah, be as wise as vipers and as innocent as doves, right?
Wow.
So I'm not going to turn my back on you. And I'm going to, I see, what's the word? Yeah, I guess compassion, that you are, you have to act this way because right now you don't know any better, and you think you're doing the right thing, by...
Peter spoke about that, compassion, a lot. He kept mentioning compassion, and then he would mention how you need to be compassionate with yourself.
Self-compassion is the hardest thing, especially, I think, for men. Like I grew up in a deli in New York, and I always said to my dad, "Hey, Dad, how come you never get sick?" And he always said, "Because I can't afford to get sick, son.
Wow.
I don't work. We have no money, so
there is no time to be sick.
Real men push through, man. Real men toughen up, And he died at 59 of a heart attack. They were tough on themselves back then. Well,
you had to be.
Well, not just then. I mean, there's a lot of. You look around, man. There's a lot of people that are just, they just push on because they think that's what it means. I'm talking about men, right?
Yeah.
So women definitely have their own challenges, and they do it differently. What do you think is a basic way, if you would explain the differences between the man and woman when it comes to dealing with certain things? Would you say men are more, I got to do it, I got to be on top of it, I'm a strong man? I know women like that too, alpha
Really?
females. They're Amazon. You see the movie? You ever watch like Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Those women are kicking ass, right?
Yeah.
So you heard of the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus?
Nah.
It's like they're from there's ways that I'm never going to get able to figure out all the differences between men and women, but I guess you could talk about generalities. I think generalities. I find more women are. They're tougher on themselves. They make themselves available for their family.
Yeah, you're right.
They're carers. You got a little baby that's dependent on you for so many years, right?
Yeah.
That sort of
so
thing.
many years, yeah.
Right, or us guys, we were out hunting the wildebeest or whatever it was. Like, if we died, no big deal.
It is what it is.
So we're expendable, but they're picking berries and talking to one another, and they keep the social cohesion. So I think we're living in an age now, though, where we have to really bring out the best in one another. I think to be a real man, or rather than man and woman, it's the masculine and the feminine. So the masculine and the feminine need to bring out the best in each other, those dynamics.
I remember talking on the phone about energy,
Yeah.
touching earth, spending time with, certain nature. Have we lost that?
What do you think?
I think we've lost it
I know
a
you're
lot.
interviewing me, but
I think we've lost it on a whole different level. Like, for example,
big time.
a couple of days ago, I woke up, I started working, I didn't see the sunlight at all for the whole day.
For the whole day.
I was inside,
Ahmad.
working our way, didn't see sunlight. The only time I came out was at night, and I came out, I was like, oh my God, I didn't see no sun today. I didn't touch no nature. Look at the trees, at the sun, smell some fresh air. It was just inside, heater, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I think there's certain stories that we've been raised on that, like Adam and Eve, and that we had dominion over nature, And I think it's, the metaphor is, that much like saying, oh, I got stuck in traffic. It's like something separate from me. But to realize, hey, I am nature. I come from nature.
That's right.
I'm the product of nature in many ways. These are my brothers and sisters. They might have wings, they may have claws, but until I see every being on the planet as part of my family, most indigenous people around the planet know that. It's like a lot of us that consider ourselves more advanced have lost that connection.
Mm-hmm. How important is it for us to go outside and just observe nature, to be around nature?
Well, there are a lot of health professionals that say you need at least 20 minutes of sunlight every day, that there's so much you get from the sun besides that our bodies need to be connected to nature. They found out that trees give out terpenes. Japanese have a thing called forest bathing, that when you're out in the forest, you're getting bathed by these chemicals in the air that actually,
Wow.
not only did the trees help each other, but they help everyone else there living in there. So we're just discovering.
Incredible. That's incredible how you say we're bathed. I've never heard of that, Dave. Have you heard of that?
In South America, they call it Pachamama, right?
Pachamama.
Which is sort of Mother Nature, Mother Earth,
Yeah.
And that I guess is mother, right?
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
mother.
after you. It's the mother of, Papa.
Yeah.
It's,
Incredible.
yeah.
They got different names for it. Yeah, the Japanese call it forest bathing, which is kind of a nice, like we sunbathe, right? It's like we need, and on my way here, I was learning about salt.
Salt.
How important it is to have, because it's a crystal and it can hold energy in it, like just silicon chips that we use in our computers. That salt is also a connection to our soul's core, like from creation, So salt's been around. It's a chemical. It's more than that. We're finding out that the things around us that we think are dead or inert or that we're separate from quantum physics is telling us that we're all connected, that it's a field of energy. And the reason that it knocks when I hit the table is because my electrons and the table's electrons are.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's things
Everything is
aren't as they
energy.
appear. Yeah, everything's energy. E equals mc squared, energy equals mass times the speed of light squared, So basically Einstein is saying, everything's energy.
How much energy is in us?
Well, there are people there's this guy, Greg Braden. Greg Braden has been doing research. He's a scientist. I think he started out as a geologist too. I forget, he was working for one of the, I don't remember what company he was working for, Greg Braden. But he's done, he says that there's enough energy because I don't know how many. 50,
Is that him?
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. He says that each cell, and we've got about, between 50 to 100 trillion cells that each are they have a small bit of amp to it, But he said we're not tapping into that energy inside ourselves.
Wow.
And I don't know if you've ever heard about it. I used to be interested in spontaneous combustion.
What is that?
That's people that they find them and they'll have just in a hotel room and they'll just have their upper torso and their legs and their feet have turned to ash. It's like weird shit.
Wow.
It's like, your body sets on fire from within. It's just like...
Yeah, but you don't blow up. You don't blow up. You just...
Wow.
Yeah. So, and you think about it. This is an interesting thing. There's the Shroud of Turin, which claimed that this is what that Jesus.
I was looking into that recently. Yeah. I was looking about that.
They thought it was they debunked it with carbon dating, and the research shows now that they were not looking at all the evidence because they didn't have the machinery and way of diagnosing it. That what they're saying now is that it was like a instant amount of energy that had been released, and it's just on the superficial level. So who's the guy that's done a lot of work with that? He wrote.
Can you open up, Davey? The Shroud of Turin. I was having a look at this actually.
Yeah.
So what are they saying now? Are they saying that it's actually...
Whitley Strieber is an interesting guy. Whitley Strieber wrote the book Alien, and he's saying that because he likes to do a lot of research on things, and he's saying that it's such a superficial marking on the surface of the weave, which they now say is from the Middle East area of the ancient weave, and that it had to be a instant flash of a huge amount of energy to create a negative of a Middle Eastern looking guy, or I think it was about 5'6", 5'7". But I mean, there's just too much stuff to say just because we couldn't figure it out in the past. That
I was also, while we're on this subject, I was also looking at, there was a tomb that apparently certain monks guarding it, and after a certain time these monks or these priests are dying from all the radiation of this tomb, and in that tomb they believe there's
the Holy Grail, right? I think. Or
I'm not sure.
like
There's
that.
certain stuff from certain prophets.
the Ark of the Covenant.
Ark of the
you go.
Covenant.
So the
yeah,
Ark
yeah.
of the Covenant, there's people that, there's so much coming out. Like we know more about dinosaurs today than we did 100 years ago.
Do you reckon they existed or what?
Dinosaurs?
Yeah, 100% existed. Yeah,
Big
of course they did.
time.
Yeah.
I see a lot of theories saying, they were
because
bullshit, they were
Well,
fake.
that's the interesting thing about the time we live in right now. There's not just one story to explain reality. You can find really, and I guess the great thing about that is we have to become as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves, where you can say, nah, that's AI produced. That's not real, in terms of something on Facebook or Instagram.
The AI is getting out of control, though. Like, just moving off little track a little bit. It's getting hard to figure out what is real and what's not.
Correct.
Because I see sometimes a President Trump will be on and saying a speech, and I'm just saying, whoa, is he really saying that? But it's an AI video.
Correct. So,
well, probably Trump did say that. He said some crazy things, that guy, So
look, the thing is, you could say, like, who do you believe nowadays? The good news about that, because I always say, okay, there's two ways of looking at this. There's a lot of bad stuff about that. You got to look at both the light and the dark, right? The good news is, I have to develop an internal sense of knowing and authority and really cross-referencing. I've got to use my head and my heart when I look at stuff. And so I'm not going to believe anything you say just because you're telling me, well, I guess the negative side of religion is I'm a priest and God's telling me to tell you that you need to give me, all your money before you die if you want to go to heaven. Right?
It is a problem. You are right.
Right? Yeah. So
it is happening like that around the world with many religions.
It has, but I think a lot of people have smartened up to say, I can't just put my faith in you. I have to grow up and really think things through for myself, And I think we're living in an age where, there's a lot of good people that still believe what they're being told by their religion, right? Because it's supposed to help us get to heaven or whatever it is we want. However, all organizations have a shadow side to it, So
you're right.
There's a shadow side. More people have been killed in the name of religion than maybe saved. I don't know.
It's interesting you say that. And you are right. So much people have died in the name of God. So much wars have happened.
Yeah.
Because our religion is right and yours is wrong.
So we're living in an age where you and I realize that. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that they're doing the best they can in terms of the culture they've been raised in and where they are, and that's the only thing that's got them through, right? And they're not gonna, if I give up, what you're telling me, and my family and thousands of people in my country or my neighborhood, wherever, still believe that you are the man that is going to tell me what God's telling me what to do. That's the only thing I got. And if I don't have that, then what, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So a lot of people, it's the only thing they have to hold on to.
It's very interesting. I've always been a believer. Having a spiritual connection with God is very important. How important is religion for humanity?
Well, I'm glad you asked me. Because I call it a spiritual experience when I was 4 years old, right? I was really sick. You could call it a near-death experience where I saw the tunnel and there was a being of light.
Wow.
And there were people there, like family that knew me. And it felt more like home, Ahmad, than my home, right? So, and it seemed more real. And man, I wanted to stay there because I was really sick as a little kid. I was in the hospital quite a bit, right? So I was on the edge, and I thought, this is a lot better than being in a pained body that's going through all this stuff, right? But the message I got, it wasn't time to come home yet. Right?
Wow.
So I spent my whole life trying to help people realize, hey, there's more to life than what you think. It's in there. It's in the religions.
I love how you say that. There is more to life than what it is. It's very important.
Yeah.
So beautiful to say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, you can see heaven. I can see heaven and everything that's beautiful, right? You look at I look at the clouds a lot when I'm not driving, or depending on the scenario. The ability to appreciate beauty is an indication that, what's it called? Like glimpses into heaven, if you will. Again, Jesus said things like, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's right here. It's right now for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. Right? So that if you got the eyes and you see everything as a blessing.
Everything's a blessing. And I've been doing it more and more these days. I would wake up in the morning now, open the door, smell the fresh air. What a blessing it is to have fresh air, fresh oxygen. Go outside, look at the trees. What a beautiful creation. You know, the sky, it's sunny. Or if it's raining, it's beautiful because we need rain.
Yeah.
Everything grows off water.
Yeah.
And when you start looking at everything as it's a blessing, you see life differently.
I agree. I mean, that's a good place to start, you know, the research says that if you come, or as a friend of mine says, gratitude is the primary attitude, right? So that sounds very American.
I like that.
That's right.
I like that.
That's right. That's what I've learned a lot of things from some of the farmers I used to hang out with. But if gratitude is the primary attitude, the research shows that your body gives off all kinds of good endorphins and chemicals when you're coming from a sense of gratitude as opposed to fear and anxiety. Mm-hmm. You know, the research shows, you know, when you got negative emotions, Peter might have talked about the molecules of emotion, that they've shown how negative emotions are toxins in your body. So when I heard that, so gratitude, so I'm going to make that a habit, you know, a habit. So first thing I do when I wake up, even before I go out the door, is I start breathing in, thank, and breathe out, you.
Wow.
Right, thank you. And then I start to say, well, thank you because I woke up. Thank you because I'm in a warm bed.
Oh my
Thank you
God.
because I'm sleeping to my wife that I love. And then I'll say, I love you, honey, you know. And that gets gratitude and love, man. That's a good. And then I'll go out the door, maybe after I have a cup of coffee or maybe if I sit meditation. But yeah, gratitude that I'm able to get up and walk out the door and just make it, tie it into my breathing, because I'm not able to think first thing in the morning when I wake up. My wife wakes up and she's going, what are we going to do about this? There's a difference. You know? There's a good video on YouTube about man's brain, the difference between a man's brain and a female brain. It's the funniest of hell video. It's a YouTube video, and it shows a woman's brain going like this. Everything's connected to everything else on there.
Yeah.
You know,
They're constantly going through so many feelings.
No more questions until I have a cup of coffee. But if I start with thank you, and kind of ease into my day and just come like I'm going to look for things to be thankful for. And, you know, the weirdest, I think it's good to start with the good stuff. But I am now thankful to my former wife for the hell that I said, you know, that we put each other through. You know? I am now thankful for all the bad shit maybe not all of it, but a lot of the stuff that at the moment seemed really bad, not because it happened, but I'm thankful for who I've become as a result of that, or how my life has changed because of that, you know?
See, very important to see things like that. I see him like that now as well. You kind of sit back and you say, well, I'm very grateful that happened because it's made me to who I am now.
Not while it's happening, though. When it's happening, it's shit.
It's shit, it's shit. Especially relationship kind of problems is one of the worst to deal with.
Well, even when I was sick as a kid, you know, I mean, relationships they cut deep. They cut probably... For me, it cut the deepest where I didn't want to live anymore, really. You know, that's actually one of the images of the heart again is the Sacred Heart, right? So it's got thorns and, you know, even in the Christian tradition, the Catholic tradition, it's got Mary with 7 swords going through her heart, right? And or a crown of thorns and there's fire and, you know, blood dripping from it.
The heart is everything.
Well, the pain, there's pain there, right? However, that pain becomes a transformational fire, right? That if you can stand in the fire or not run away from it, which I tried, you know.
I like standing in the fire sometimes.
Standing in the fire.
It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. Makes things spicy a little bit.
Oh man, it takes, well, what's the saying? If you want to give light, you got to be willing to burn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's
You
a
got
lot
to
of good
sometimes
ones.
burn. And
That's right.
I said this on the last podcast. It's very important. I believe it's very important that we experience suffering. I think suffering is very important.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
No.
But we must endure suffering in order to succeed and appreciate things in life.
Well, there's M. Scott Peck is a psychiatrist, I think. M. Scott, he wrote the book The Road Less Traveled, and he said that all neurosis is caused from avoiding legitimate suffering.
Wow.
That, you know, you look at addiction, I look at all the ways I've tried to run away from suffering in my life.
It doesn't work.
For
Running
a
away
while, at first it does.
yeah, but it catches up. Doesn't work.
Eventually, yeah, I guess it depends on, how committed you are from running away. Sometimes it could, you know, a lot of people die, you know,
Doesn't
trying to
work.
run away from it.
I tell a lot of people, stop running away from your problems. Deal with them. Even if it hurts now, it's better than the long run. It catches up because what happens is, this is why the abuse of drugs and alcohol comes in, because they're trying to cover their pain and escape from that reality. Just deal with it. It is what it is.
How do you feel about ice plunges?
I like doing them.
Do you?
Yeah, in the mornings, especially in summer. I do it a lot because I train a lot.
Right.
It helps me. It
Yeah?
helps me. It works
I
for me.
haven't gotten there yet, man.
You gotta give
I'm
it
not
a-
ready. I'm not ready. I mean, I'm 73, right? So, do I really want an ice plunge? Is it going to help me that much?
I highly suggest you try it one time. It's actually wonderful, especially in the morning. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've heard it.
You kind of freeze and
Yeah.
your mind goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you don't know if you want to live. It's just so cold. You don't know if you want to stay alive anymore, you know, but you learn to overcome it. And that's why
That's
I
the big
like,
deal.
yeah, and why I like doing it is it teaches me to overcome problems.
Yeah, it's good on you.
You
Good
know
on
what I mean? It's
Yeah. I'm not there yet.
so hopefully soon you get to experience that feeling.
Well, you know, I am. I realized because my mom is 94. Back in New York City, right? So
Oh, wow.
she's on the way out. I mean, in the sense of really starting to could hardly move anymore. Her mind is starting to go, and I realized, you know, because of my near-death experience as a 4-year-old, I'm not afraid of dying. I mean, bring it on. I'm praying. I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'm looking forward to
See,
that.
that is very, 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 very powerful when you say that. Bring it on. Like, to me, when I hear that, it makes me believe that you have lived a very good life and you've done a lot of wonderful things. Because I believe a person is not ready to die when they haven't done much good in life. You know, that's what I feel. I feel if you've been a good person, you've helped people, kind to your neighbours, given back, you've been a good servant, you're ready to go. You want to go to the next place. But if you're an evil person, I feel like you want to stay here and you want to try to do more good.
Yeah, well, look, I fucked up a lot too,
Yeah.
you know, but I do believe that, again, this is the Christian thing, you know. What's the worst thing you could do to someone? Oh, I think crucifixion is right up there, you know.
Oh,
You betray
Everything.
him, you get him to pay the price for things that he hasn't done. And for me, it's an image of, okay, hit me with your best shot. Do the worst thing you possibly can so I can prove to you that my love is bigger than any shit you can pull. Right? So when I still have to take accountability for the things I've done wrong. I can't just go around, oh, I've been forgiven, now I can still be a dipshit, you know, it's like I've got to take accountability for that. And I do believe, as a lot of near-death experiences talk about, that when you die, you have a life review, right? So you see your whole life flash in front of you.
Can we go a bit deep on that?
But you don't see it. You see it from the other people's perspective. So if you've done bad shit to other people, you get to experience what you did to them.
Wow.
But not for all eternity.
Because many say, I've seen a lot of articles, a lot of spiritual people,
Yeah.
that when you're dying, you have a flashback of all your life.
That's what's been reported by people that have had.
And how long is that flash? Is it?
It could be an instant, you know.
Wow.
It could be an instant because that's an interesting thing. Time is an interesting thing, right? In terms of one of the other things that this Jesuit priest, so his name is Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin.
What a name that is.
Yeah. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin.
TRD. This one, yeah.
Yeah, that guy there. Right. So he's one of the first. Many other people have said it, but he said, and actually that quote.
Open that quote.
That quote that you got right there, the one about the undiscovered.
This one is.
Yeah.
Okay,
That is such a good quote. Someday, after we've mastered the winds, the waves, and the tides and gravity, we shall harness for God the energy of love. And then, for the second time in the history of the world, humanity will have discovered fire.
Wow.
Boom. Boom.
Mic drop.
They gave me a smack on the head. Will have discovered fire.
Yeah. True power. The power, so that like Jesus being able to love while he's being crucified, it said, Father, forgive them for what they do. They know not what they do. So that's what inspires me to love my enemy.
Wow.
I'm not there yet, but
I believe it takes.
That's the big one.
It's the hardest thing in my life that I've come to realize. Two things that I've been working on, and I find them the most difficult: forgive your enemy, and judging. These two, I've became better at judging. For example, what I mean by judging, walking down the road and seeing a guy misbehave in a certain way.
Yeah.
He could be behaving that way, in that certain way, for a reason that I don't know.
What's the saying? Hurt people hurt people. If you've been abused,
Yeah.
well, look what. Can I be controversial here?
Yeah, 100%.
Look what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. Same thing that happened to them. Genocide.
Yeah.
It's like you hurt people hurt people.
That's very interesting to say that. Hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people. You've been hurt, that's the sins of the father. That's the sins we can carry on, those sins from generation to generation.
And it's like trauma from our parents. Certain parents were really hard on us, and if they beat us up, then we grow and we follow that same strategy. And then our children say, "Why do you beat me up?" And then we ask ourselves, "It's like, I don't know anything better. This is what I was taught. This is what I was." But I think it comes back to us, that we must enlighten ourselves and learn and say, this is wrong.
And we actually, so here's where quantum physics gets really interesting.
Here we go.
So time, we experience time, much like I can't put this seems real, There are people that are saying, hey, this is a virtual reality, really.
Virtual reality.
Virtual, just like wearing goggles and being in a virtual world.
Matrix.
The Matrix, yeah, this is the Matrix, right? And what quantum physics says, if everything's energy, light is both a particle and a wavelength, and that the field, the energy field, is conscious, and that energy field exists outside of time and space. All right, so it's like our version of reality. The thing I'm realizing, that vision I had when I was 4, that there's more to reality than how it appears. That time, we experience it as linear, past, present, future. So the things that happened in my past, I'm paying the price for it now. So I was abused by my mother, my father, whatever, my brother. So I carry that trauma, right? I've got that thing, and that's going to create my future. That's one way of looking at how life works. On the other hand, if I'm an energy field experiencing myself, if I'm a light wave experiencing myself as a particle right now, right?
Yeah.
Or as a spiritual being having a human experience, then that means that time and space I'm not limited by time and space, and my ability to tap into love, tap into infinite consciousness, Wow. There's a lot of ways, the divine, to tap into how I'm connected to the divine. Time and space no longer are limitations.
Wow.
So we can go back in time and heal the wounds of our ancestors or our parents, and that there's nothing saying that if you're tapped into the power of love.
Wow, the power of love. We're gonna speak about love. We're gonna speak about love. But David, give me my phone for a second. I forgot I need to send my address to my sister, or she's gonna kill me today.
Yep, she's been calling.
Oh my god! I forgot it. Give me a second because she's supposed to go to the dentist.
Just shut me up whenever you need to, because I'll just keep going, man.
I saw I couldn't read the messages obviously on his phone, but I saw a call coming through.
You keep an eye on.
We're live when the red light's on, man.
Keep an eye on your brother here, man.
That's it.
Don't want to get him in trouble with his sister.
When the red light's on, we record, and the rest of the world disappears.
Can I eat one of these things?
Absolutely,
100%.
What are they?
It's chocolate covered in coconut, I think.
It's a new experience for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought about it.
Is this the blue pill or the red?
I have to send her the address because she's got a dentist, but she doesn't know it's the first time. So I sent it to her.
She did call. I should have told you it was ringing, but I didn't know.
That's it. Leave it there for now. How's that chocolate going down?
It's heaven.
That's love right there. Loving the chocolate.
Love. I don't know about love, John. I don't know about love, man.
You don't know about love.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I'm almost at the point of giving up on love, but I don't know if I want to give up on it, because then I had this. All right, let's go back a little bit.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've given up. I gave up on love. But go ahead. You go, and then
I had this belief for a while. It was when I was going through a rough time in my life.
Yeah.
When I'd lost certain people in my life, and I was very dark. I wasn't depressed. I was just in a dark world, and I gave up on love. And what I mean by I gave up on love, I no longer loved myself, so I didn't want to give love to anyone else. But
you
then,
couldn't.
Yeah. But then I realised I seen a very religious imam. I bumped into him and he said, do you not love God? And I was like, yeah. He goes, so love does exist. And I went quiet. And then I never looked back from there, because I used to say love is a fantasy. Love is bullshit. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Started reading all these philosophies. It does, because you love God. And if you don't love God, it doesn't make any sense. So you have to have, love does exist.
That did it for you.
That was it.
Because of your devotion to the divine, Ahmad. Because you were willing to give up on yourself, but you weren't able to give up on that faith and belief. So that's big.
It's crazy where a human being can go when he's dark.
Tell me about it.
Whew, you can go into deep valleys.
Well,
deep valleys.
There's many different ways of killing yourself. Right, and it's not always right away. Although I got to a point where, I used to teach a marriage course, right, in the Catholic schools until my own marriage fell apart.
Marriage course, wow.
Yeah, it was year 12, marriage is a sacrament. It's a way of encountering God and the divine through the relationship. The divine, it's about love. Until my own marriage fell apart, which I I was traveling a lot. I was going to save the rest of the world. Where I was, and things. Well, it all fell apart. And when the kids didn't want to see me, I couldn't come up with a reason to live, Ahmad. I didn't want to live anymore.
Wow.
I did not want to live. So it got to the point where, okay, how can I kill myself without it hurting?
Wow.
Like who is it that said? Oh, Woody Allen said, I don't mind dying. I just don't want to be there when it happens, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to blow my brains out or anything. I wanted something that wasn't going to hurt. But that's when I got an offer to come to Australia, right?
Wow.
After I found out the kids didn't want to see me, this was after moving out of the house and doing that, all that. But after the kids, and I thought, no, I don't want to live anymore. This is. I'm checking out. And a friend called and said, look, I got a gig in Australia. And I thought, much like, drug, sex, and rock and roll. And I thought, let's see, death or Australia?
Yeah.
Death or Australia? What's it going to be?
Flip the coin. Toss coin.
And I had met some Australians in Blarney Castle in Ireland, like years ago, and they were doing the real Aussie thing, And I thought, these people are pretty cool. I think I could go,
Experience it.
Well, they were public servant, a young couple, right? And I was on we for about 2 weeks, and I said, "How long are you guys on vacation?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, we got a year off, long service leave." And I said, "You mean you can go back to your job after a year?" Yeah, we work for the. Now this was back in, when was this, the 80s? I said, "Yeah, we could go for, and we can go back to our job, and we get paid more while we're on holiday." It was holiday loading. And I thought, I'm going to go there someday, man. That sounds like a pretty good plan.
And then bang, you end up in Australia.
So, after the kids didn't want to see me, and, the rebound relationship that was a perfect neurotic fit, how we could both drive each other. I realized I wasn't ready to be in a relationship with anybody because I wasn't in relationship with myself in many ways. So, the song Freedom is meaning sometimes is having nothing left to lose,
Yeah.
Picked up the phone, come to Australia on Australia Day.
Wow.
1996. I'm living in Colorado, where more people commit suicide in January because it's after all the holidays, and
Everyone's just.
okay, man, this is it. This is winter. This is no good. That sort of thing. And I landed in Sydney Harbor, and the jets were going over, and it's
What a
holiday.
Time. What a time to have arrived.
But the thing about when you were saying you were in a dark place, it's you gave up on love, but love didn't give up on you.
Yeah, you're right.
Love didn't give up on you. And I mean, I was coming to Australia to get away from everybody and everything. I mean, it was a good alternative to suicide, right? Didn't want love, didn't want anything. I just wanted to see what Australia was like. It's better than killing myself right now.
Would you say you wanted to start like a fresh page in your life?
Well, it wouldn't even go that far. Maybe a fresh sentence. Forget the page. Maybe we'll work up to a paragraph, and it'll be
One step at a time. Right?
yeah, right,
One
right,
sentence
right.
at
Yeah,
a time.
but it was an adventure.
A fresh sentence. Man, you would have been somewhere really dark then, man. Holy crap! A fresh sentence.
I was pretty. It gets weirder. Can I just tell you a little bit more about it? Because I think it might
100%.
help. It might help somebody.
100%.
So I was at that. Freedom is having nothing left to lose, right? So didn't know anybody in Australia.
How old were you there? at that time?
I was 43.
Ooh.
Midlife crisis,
Right.
right?
That is peak midlife crisis.
Peak,
Yeah.
You know, I had the big house in the suburbs. You ever see the movie American Beauty? Where
Yeah.
they, you know, that was my life. I mean, there was some, not the
Wow.
girl, not the daughter's friend, but anyway, it was my
Very
life.
similar, yeah.
Yeah, very similar to that.
That's a very beautiful movie, by the way.
Tell me about it. So,
What a
but
movie.
realizing what really, what you're told about what's going to make you happy doesn't really. So anyway, nothing left to lose. I'm in Australia, and I met the love of my life the first day.
Come on.
Wait, as predicted.
What?
As predicted, right? So I'm hanging out
So you arrive in Australia
January 26,
on Australia Day,
1996, in that morning.
and
Yeah.
you meet her on that same day.
Yeah, not right away. The people that were supposed to pick me up forgot. So I'm in Australia on the other side of the world,
God.
and everybody picked me up. However, Lisa walks in the door. It's Australia Day, right? So we're partying. You know, we're partying pretty heavy. And alcohol, smoking doobies, you know.
It's 1996, baby.
I'm rolling them, they're smoking them, right? And, but like 2 weeks earlier, I'm in the U.S., right? I'm hanging out with they're called a spiritual emergence group. So Stanislav Grof, Groff, used to experiment with LSD until they made it illegal. So he started GROFF, maybe you got, yeah. Holotropic breath work, yeah, the one that goes down, yeah. So he invented this way of breathing. Deep breathing in and out. And like, it's like tripping if you do it for like a half hour or so, you know.
Really?
But they have people that help you through it. So that was his alternative to using LSD. So I'm doing this holotropic breath work and hanging out with people that he called the spiritual emergence network, people that were pretty much going through midlife crisis or trying to figure out what life's all about, that sort of thing. And I'm with this one group, and they say, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to Australia. Didn't know anything about Australia.
That's it.
Right?
You're just going there.
I'm going to Australia. You know, originally, you know, the woman said, oh, well, we'll put you up for the first couple of months. I said, no, I'll go camping. I'll go camping. I Crocodile Dundee was all I knew about Australia.
Crocodiles and kangaroos.
That's not a knife.
She's saying, John, you're going to be working on the 50th floor of the MLC building in Sydney. If you go camping, they're going to arrest you. Right? You know, so anyway, where are you going? I'm going to Australia. And this person, I don't know, she comes up and she says, you're going to meet the love of your life when you move out there.
From this group.
Yeah, she just kind of comes up. I'm not asking for any predictions.
She's probably some witch. You know what?
She says, I'm getting this hit. You know, I'm getting this hit. You're going to find the love of your life. And I, like the camera goes back. And I immediately forget about it, you know, until the next week, different group. Same scene, Ahmad. I'm a group. Oh, yeah, what are you going to do, John? I'm going to Australia.
Wow.
A different person says the same thing. You're going to meet the love of your life when you move out there. And I said, have you been talking to? No. And so I said, so when am I supposed to meet this person? And she said, right away.
Oh my God.
Right? So I immediately put that out of my mind too, right? So denial works, you know, you can, just like death or anything else you don't want to think about. I'm really good at pretending I don't know shit, you know, and denial about stuff. And, but that night, so Lisa walks in the door. When I first get to Australia, they said, look, we're going to put you up with Jason and his partner, Darren. You know, they're the office managers. You can share the apartment with them. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm not gay. You know, there's a few things that I was sure about. And I said, I'm not going to meet any women here. This is cool. And then that night, Lisa, who was one of Jason's friends, comes in with his cousin, and for me, like, Lisa was 26, incredible body, vivacious personality.
The heart started racing, the butterflies.
But danger, Will, danger, danger. I always said, look, I've seen my older friends go after younger women, and just put me out of my misery. I'm not going to go there. So no, it was like we did party hard, but we both kind of had these elliptical orbits around each other. She said, "Oh, why don't you call me up? I know some really good restaurants here." You know, she's giving me this. So maybe once a month we'd meet up for a coffee or something like that, and that went on for 9 months. It's the longest I ever courted a woman in my life.
That's a long trip.
Right. But then, we got married on Australia Day 4 years later,
Wow.
2000. So I always remember the anniversary date. Australia Day, 2000, I always know.
Look at that.
That sort of thing. And it's been amazing. And she is the love of my life. And actually, she's helped me discover the power of love.
Wow.
The power of love to be able to forgive some of my enemies, people that I considered them enemies at the time.
It's a. Hopefully, one day I get to experience that.
Well, the reason I'm telling you that is because if you're trying to do the right thing, love will find you. Love will find you. Actually, love is always, we talk about angels getting messages from heaven or people being a message. If you just say to God or to the divine, I want to know what love is. I'm open to discover what love is.
That's what the song says, right? I want to know what love
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
I want you to know.
Yeah. Play that one. Make that one of your theme songs there, right? It's like the hardest thing for me is to love myself. I realized this woman, I can love her. Actually, the thing changed. I got to a point, because I was really trying all my tricks on how to charm her, court her, and she wasn't falling for any of it. She saw through it all. And it's when I gave up.
Wow.
When I gave up and I just said, God, I just saw, there was a video, and it was these people, Sai Baba was the guru in India. So I was into my guru stage there for a while. I remember saying, I'm going to take a vacation from Jesus for a while. I'm just going to go.
Take a break. Take a little break from religion for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I got involved with the Eastern religions, with guru and meditation and all that. But that's part of the journey, really, in a sense. It was part of the journey.
It is.
But this video, it was called Pure Love.
Wow.
Pure Love. And I can remember looking at it, and I thought, there is such a thing as pure love. And that's how I'm going to love Lisa. I'm going to pray, dear God, just make me a channel of pure love, because I want this woman to know how much you love her.
Wow.
Jesus. And it changed.
Wow. Very powerful, man. Very powerful the way you explain it there. Wow. The amount of love you're giving to your soulmate. This is your companion, your soulmate, the person you love, and you're explaining it with such a passion. It's deep. It's deep. I sometimes speak with Davey, and I can see him getting a bit emotional there. And power of love.
Yeah, it's about directing it, right? I mean, funny enough, my story is very similar. I met my wife 2 weeks after arriving in Australia, so I hear your story very similar to mine. Finding love when you take that leap of faith to change your life. Like you also pushes you in the direction of love. I think.
But it was a different type of love. So Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah.
Right. So we got that one. So when I used to teach the course on marriage, I explained that in English there's only one word for love. Love. Mm-hmm. And that can be, but the Greeks had was it foreign? So there's erotic love, right? You know, there you can look at porn. You can, you know, that's just getting the sexual love. That's there's fraternal love. Love brothers, you know, brotherly love, sisterly love, your family, I'm going to love you. And there is agape love, A-G-A-P-E. Agape love is the type of love Jesus is talking about by loving your neighbors. I don't want to, can I say fuck? I don't know if
Yeah,
that's allowed.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't want to fuck my enemies. Or maybe I do want to fuck them over. Right? Yeah, right. So it's I don't want to fuck my enemies. I don't want you to be my brother. Well, maybe I need to see you as my brother and sister eventually. But I can love you. If what happened when I made that decision, I'm just going to love Lisa. I just want you to make me a channel of divine, pure love. And whether she loves me or loves me back or not, I don't care anymore. I'm letting go of all this because I just had this huge impulse. I wanted her to know how much she was loved. And
She is truly loved from the way you're explaining and...
Well, not always. But that was my initial intention. And when I'm able to come from that with anybody, Ahmad, when we can be a channel of divine love, and much like that person that told you, well, you still love God, he was being a channel of divine love that comes not from me, but through me.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's where the heart is.
There's a quote by one of our beloved. So Imam Ali is a quote in Islam, and he says, "Be a light bulb that attracts people." And I find it very fascinating that you could be a light bulb and you just attract people. So what it means is, be a good person and you attract people. The flowers don't need to go anywhere. The bees come right to the flowers and they take what they need.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful.
You know, and it's very, very interesting when you see it as such. And growing up, I had so much anger, and then I realised there's more to life than being angry and violent. It's about loving, giving back, being kind to your parents, being kind to your friends, being kind to your neighbour. Sometimes my neighbour's 78 and his wife is 8 years old, and they're both sick, and grab their bins and put it inside for them.
Yeah.
That little kind of act is, it's special. I might not get a reward from them, but I'm getting a reward from God.
Absolutely.
Somewhere else.
Absolutely.
If you want to open up, there's a quote, I really, go on YouTube, and it's from the movie Kingdom of Heaven. Have you watched that?
Yeah. It's that's a
I was listening
such a
to
good
this.
one.
Oh my God, I was listening to this in the morning. So Kingdom of Heaven, and right, speech, where he's talking
to both of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was it.
Let me tell you which one. Go down a little
The
bit.
one with the mask on, yeah.
Right there.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where he says, God will not ask you. Let me just remember this.
Chef,
Listen to this.
any move can be the death of you. Do anything except remain where you started, and you can't be sure of your end. Were you sure of your end once? I was. What was it? To be buried 100 yards from where I was born. And now? Now I sit in Jerusalem and look upon a king. When I was 16, I won a great victory. I felt in that moment I would live to be 100. Now I know I shall not see 30. None of us know our end, really,
This is the quote.
or what hand will guide us there. A king may move a man. A father may claim a son. That man can also move himself. And only then does that man truly begin his own game. Remember that howsoever you are played, or by whom, your soul is in your keeping alone. Even though those who presume to play you be kings or men of power, when you stand before God, you cannot say, but I was told by others to do thus, or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice. Remember that.
so powerful that when you stand before God, you can't say this was, no. You are going to be responsible for your actions. And that is a very, very powerful quote, the way he explains it.
It's the beginning of manhood.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're what's the saying? I just heard it recently. I think it's a Chinese saying that a man who blames others has a long way to travel.
Yeah.
A man who blames himself is halfway there. A man who blames no one has arrived. Yeah. So when you take accountability, there's a thing I used to do, well, I still use it, about being above the line, below the line. You know that one where, you know, if I use blame, excuse, or denial, I didn't do anything wrong, or discount, no, that wasn't so bad. You know, if I'm below the line, that means that I'm not taking, that I'm a victim. All this has happened to me. I'm the way I am because my father beat me, or I'm because of these things that happen, right? So I can blame either my parents for how they raised me, or my grandparents because of my genes, right? I am the way I am because I'm genetically fucked up, whatever. But once I come above the line, and the line is the decision to say no. So I own it. I did this. So it starts with ownership. You know this one? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that one. Okay. Ownership. Yeah, I did it. But that's not enough to say I did it. You know,
Yeah.
it's I got to take accountability for it. Am I willing to pay the price of the harm I've caused? Right?
Yeah.
Am I willing to pay the price in terms of whether it's financially or whether it's somehow making it right as much you can? And our responsibility, how can I learn to be, I like the saying, well, if you had to do that over again, well, how could you have responded in a creative way to make it a creative possibility for yourself and other people?
That's right.
Looking back.
It's love is everything. And, recently, I remember when you sent me an email, one of them you were describing working with children in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recently in the last 3 years, I've had this deep love and understanding for youth. I don't know where it's come from. It might have been an angel had kind of placed that in my heart.
Take it for that.
Yeah. But I have a really deep love for them and understanding, and sometimes it feels like I can understand their pain. So how was it working with, when you're working with the youth back in America? Because we really know that's really, really rough neighborhoods. How was it there?
Well, first of all, it's helping you realize that a lot of the reasons they're on drugs or creating crimes or whatever it happens to be is because of sorry, that's my phone.
That's all right.
That's okay.
No stress. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I was like, what was that?
Did a bird come in here?
That's God. It's God coming to talk to us.
Well, it's about being as wise as vipers and innocent as doves. I'm not going to turn my back on some of these kids. And, they would come on from the mean streets. We had a place called Relief Against Problems, a rap center was at the time. So they would come there, and it became a home for them where the first thing I learned is, I'm not here to change you. I'm not here to change you. I just want to offer you a place where you can hang out. No,
Wow.
See,
when you say that, it's so beautiful. It touches my heart because I do it so wrong sometimes when I try to help people. I come in an approach of trying to change them.
too quickly.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So when you say that, it blows my mind that you need to come in such a soft, understanding way to make them feel comfortable.
Listen deeply. The best thing you can do is tell me, what's happening. And if you're listening deeply from your heart, you don't only just hear the words, you don't just hear the emotion, but you hear what it might mean for them, you know. So I hear that you feel drawn to working with youth, right? Okay. I get a sense for you that you have a heart connection. There's something there pulling you to want to do that. That's because what it might mean for you is that you're doing good in the world. You're healing the part of yourself when you were that age yourself. But I don't know. What does it mean? So I take a punt at what it might mean, but then I'll say, and they might say, it doesn't mean anything at first. But if they know, because when you think about it, the only time you ever really got someone's 100% attention, especially in this world right now, is either if someone wants to fight you or fuck you.
Yeah.
Right? The only time I got someone's attention is I'm in deep shit, man. There's something.
Yeah, in trouble.
I'm in trouble or I'm in love.
That's a very interesting way. Yeah, I never seen it that way.
But to give you, this is that agape, unconditional love. I don't really care what you've done, right? All the bad stuff you've done. I see the light in your eyes, and I'm going to reflect it back to you. I see the God in you. I see the light that you really are, and you can't pretend. You might not even have any idea that that's in you.
Yeah.
But
it's powerful.
Yeah.
Because if you go back 3-4 years ago, my goals and ambitions were on, if I was to tell you, you would not believe. You'd say, what? How do you go from this to this? It was a completely different world.
Give me one. What are your goals and ambitions?
So I've been boxing for about 17 years.
Right.
My path was to be a professional boxer.
Yeah.
And I truly believed I had the potential to be world champion class. Mindset, training hard.
Yeah.
Undefeated record in amateurs. But then I realised and I stopped. Even if I got all the money and the belt and the fame of the world, it means nothing the moment I stand in front of God. He will not ask me about that.
See.
He will ask me about, Ahmed, I gave you 50 years of your life. What service did you give to your people? Did you help your neighbours? Did you love your neighbours? Did you help your friends that needed help? He will not ask me about how many belts I achieved in life. He will ask, did I look after my health? But not how much fame and money. He'll ask, what did I do with the money?
Yeah, that's good. That's so good.
I realised, how do we change that? By creating a network and letting people listen and learn that the importance of life is being of service to people.
And if one person can hear what you're saying, it makes it all worthwhile.
It's like I feel in my heart, if I can help one person, it feels like I've saved humanity. Just one person. That's just how I feel. And ever since then, I've never looked back. I've just focused on helping people and being of active service for others.
That is, I just want to acknowledge that you ever hear about, what's it called now? It's a type of warrior that the Tibetan monks talked about.
It's a quote, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it better to be a warrior in a garden than a garden in a war? That's one of my favourite someone.
But I just want to acknowledge what you're saying. Because it is, but it talks about the type of war that it says in the darkest time, these warriors will come forward and they won't be wearing any special uniform. You won't know, from how they look, but they will use their wisdom and their compassion to fight the darkest tendencies in humanity.
Wow.
And it's I'll have to think of the title of the warrior, but it's got a really cool name. But that's you're that type of warrior, and that the real fight, even is the one within, is the one within, and to learn how to use divine grace, because I think it's impossible to do that yourself, that we need. You need discipline.
100%.
Right. But what you're doing will set a model for others, and that you will touch souls.
You have to.
You will touch
You
souls.
have to, and that's why I say, John, that my whole life changed after that, because I realised being here, for example, and having Dave,
Yeah.
and he's working and he's making money. I will be asked about that I gave this man an opportunity and he's making his money to feed his family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is greatness for me. This is happiness for me. It's not about being all this famous and having all these belts and money and women. That doesn't mean anything.
It's the prophecy of the Shambhala warrior.
Wow.
Shambhala.
Wow.
It's got the name itself has got a lot of power to it.
The Shambhala warrior.
Yeah, or Shambhala.
Wow.
Shambhala warrior's prophecy. Yeah. That's the one. Speaks of a time when humanity faces grave danger due to destructive forces, that emergence of the Shambhala warriors.
Oh.
Individuals who have compassion and insight work to dismantle these forces from within.
Wow.
So that's it, man. I
That's
want
what
to
it's about.
acknowledge you as
Thank
a
you. Thank you.
Shambhala warrior.
Thank you. And that's it's been the greatest journey of my life, reaching, connecting with people. I'm so grateful and I'm happy, and I continue to do the best I can. The amount of time and effort that I can put in, I will do the best I can and just keep moving forward, because that's what life is about. It's about moving forward and progressing.
And it's an adventure.
Yeah.
And it's an adventure, so look, lots of times, people say life is 2 steps forward and 1 step back, that as long as but I realize many times life is 2 steps backwards and only 1 step forward, but getting to the right place because I was facing in the wrong direction in the first place. So I've backed into a lot of good things that I'm supposed to be doing with my life. If my intention, so my prayer every morning is always, it's tuum voluntas meum.
What does that mean?
That's Latin for thy will be done.
Wow.
It's like I learned the Catholic Mass in Latin before it turned into English, and that's one of the phrases that stuck with me. Tuum voluntas me. If you make that your intention, then whatever you do and you keep asking, you'll be led. The whole.
100%. And that's why for me, having a spiritual connection with God is very important, because the moment we feel lost, He guides us, and He can guide us in a very, very interesting way. I could go outside to my car, turn on my car, and all of a sudden I see a flat tire. But that flat tire means something. Yeah. It could save me from a speeding car or a fine. So a prime example is just a true story that's happened a few weeks ago. So I was with a friend of mine. He was on the lights. It was late, and he's like, I'm just going to cross it. It's a red light. I was like, don't do it, man. It could be cops around. Crossed it. Didn't listen. Anyway, right behind us was a police officer.
Yeah.
Follows us in, just around the corner here, pulls the sofa, and he walks up, and he's just like, that was very stupid to do in front of me. And in my heart, I was like, I told you not to cross it, man. And the police officer turned around and said, you're lucky that I'm attending another job.
Wow.
And I can't dick you for it. He goes, but that's silly. Don't do it again. It's dangerous. I looked at my friend and I said, go home and pray to God, because He helped you there.
That's it, man.
That's a special reminder to be careful.
Can you think? I can think of, as you're saying that, I can think of times when I've said, no, that's not a good idea. I shouldn't do it, and I've done it anyway.
Yeah.
Have you done that ever?
Yeah. I've spoken to Peter about this, speaking about choices and decisions. You remember with him?
Peter's book, right? Make good decisions.
Yeah.
So if you ever, do you have any? I have regrets in my life. Do you ever feel guilty about things you've done in the past?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to learn a way to take take the lesson. You know, if you're going to lose, don't lose the lesson. You want to take the lesson, but you realize you're still beating yourself up too much over it.
I bet.
All right,
Way too much. I bet myself too.
Okay,
Yeah.
you want to know the ticket out of that?
100%.
Okay, but you got to repeat it regularly.
Okay.
All right, it's a special prayer.
Okay.
Right, and so repeat it with me.
Yep.
Okay, think of it. First of all, think of the situation. All right, so I got to picture the situation, something you've done that I don't want to know what it is. Right?
There's only one regret.
But but you got the regret.
Yes.
Okay, so here, repeat it with me.
Yep.
Right. It seemed
like
a good idea
a good idea
at the time.
at the time. Wow.
And repeat it. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Rather than saying, you bag of shit, what the fuck were you thinking when you did? It seemed like a good idea
at the time.
At the time. Because, someone said the devil is only in your mind. And I said, well, that's the last place I want it, is in my mind. It's all the negative shit I say to myself that is the real battle. That as long as I say negative things to myself, I am losing the battle. Until I can say, it seemed like a good idea at the time, and I am now, what's the word I want to use? I'm a wiser, I'm a humbler, I'm a better man, because what I've learned from that, and I'm never going to ever forget.
So you remove the regret, right? You remove the regret from.
You just get rid of the regret. You remove the regret, and you have to believe, though, that that's where divine love. I gotta believe that God's love is bigger and better than anything I can stop it with. So that's it. But it's
One piece of advice, valuable advice, that you would like to share to the world.
One. Now, there's a lot of them. There's a lot. Well,
One
we've
that
covered
shines.
it. Yeah.
Shines bright.
One big one. One big one is believe in miracles.
Believe in miracles.
Believe in miracles. Yeah.
Because they're around.
Yeah.
They're around.
Yeah.
John, it's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been an adventure.
Definitely. How do I explain this? Normally I say a bunch of yapping, but it's touched my heart differently this time. The wisdom, the philosophy, the spiritual side of it, the connection to the heart. And you made me, when you spoke about your wife and the love you had for her, you made me see love in a very different way now. When I looked at your eyes and I could see how you passionate you were about it, it's like, wow, this is the true feeling of it.
Yeah.
And that is a lesson learned for me that I'll put in my book now in my memory and keep it there.
I'm sure you will, Ahmad.
Believe in miracles, Ahmed. Love will find you. Don't worry. Love will find you.
That's absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for driving down and joining us today, John. It's been great. I really love this. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. You want to get a snippet